All right, we're going to jump right into it. Krista Giamarco, well, it says Krista Barker, Psychic Soul Senses. We're going to talk about higher sensory perception. But first, we're going to start with our main senses. So let me get this up here. Now, there are many higher senses that are not recognized as normal characteristics of spiritual awakened human beings. Let's go back to what regular senses are first, our main senses. Basic human senses. Senses are a physiological capacity of humans that provide information for conscious perception and physical experience. As traditionally recognized in the 3D narrative, humans have the basic five senses that are experienced in a physical body, which are sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. Additionally, it is agreed that most humans have some degree of sensory abilities to identify temperature, balance, vibration, self movement, and body position, as well as experience sensations of internal stimulation, such as feelings, hunger, or thirst. The capabilities of the five main senses have a much broader range than what is generally assumed, or that which could be identified through making an analysis using a scientific method. These common senses are experienced by the majority of humanity and those attuned to the personality matrix in the lower frequency dimensions. Within the planetary body instruction set pattern for the second dimension exists the planetary shield, which informs the blueprint of the organs of perception that are manifested within the human physical body. The basic senses are experienced as a result of 2D layers. So, we're not going to get into all the scientific reasoning behind it, but it talks about when we begin the soul integration process, the structures of the soul and higher spiritual bodies come with higher senses that go beyond the common senses. So when you start working on your higher perception, higher sensory perception, you do go beyond your sight, smell, and all that touch. However, a certain touch or a feeling, patterns, a tone, things like this can bring intuitive images to you and visions, right? Or feelings that have something to do with your future. This is how psychics use their body to perceive the future or tell fortunes is higher sensory perception. So now let's go to higher sensory perception. Now, guys, I'm on Ascension Glossary. You can go to ascensionglossary.com. You can search in anything in the search. And as long as it is something spiritual, excuse me, and in that, there's a lot of terms and terminology in there you can find. We're going to get into more of the soul and the soul triad later, because the soul matrix is actually made up of different soul layers, because us as humans have been here so many times. Like we have reincarnated so many times that we leave a part of our soul in those other lives. And so at the end of a cycle, which is an age, an eon, whatever you want to call it, that is when all the souls that have carnated in this life or in this cycle, they come back. And so we are part of a gigantic race. I mean, there's different species of humans, and we're about to find all this out. Anyways, I'm getting off track. There are many higher senses that are not recognized as normal characteristics of the spiritually awakened human being, and these higher senses may come online when being initiated and um, creating higher spiritual frequencies. Individuals that demonstrate these higher senses are not especially gifted. Everybody has these capabilities. It's just your spiritual growth is what heightens these senses. We're going to get into the reason I'm talking about this is because this video, I'm going to show you how to listen to your heart frequency. That's actually your gut feeling, where you get your gut feeling at. And what I want you to do is go into meditation, but you go into meditation in the loving state with your heart full of love, right? And during that time, that's when you ask, and you need to practice doing this with yes or no questions, right? And so that's what you basically are going to do is you're going to be asking, so should I vote for Trump or not? It's just an example question, guys. Don't read into it. I don't like voting anymore. So I really have no opinion. But that's what you're supposed to do is go into whatever you're wanting to know the answer to that can be answered yes or no with a frequency, okay? And then you're going to have an open mind with no judgment as to what you receive, as to what your answers are going to be, okay? And then you ask the question. And then if you get a feeling, that is unsettling, that just doesn't sit right with you, then you know you shouldn't be voting for Trump. But if you get a feeling that feels warm and loving to you and comforting and secure and protective, that means you should vote for him. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a quick exercise. You can find this over on Ascension Glossary. It tells you the language of the heart right here. You will know if it is real by the way it makes you feel by observing the feelings as they transpire without judgment. This is the mental and emotional body cultivation that is required to gain discernment of one's personal inner truth. And you feel that. You feel that. We'll get into what it means to be a compassionate witness and so on as we, take this further. But this is just one little exercise that you can do that will help you connect to your soul. What this is these little exercises opens up parts of your soul and it helps you connect spiritually and it releases you from the pain or traumas that you've had to carry through your life. So anyways, guys, I hope that this video was informative. I hope it helps you out there. Remember to always be the reason that someone believes in good people. And I will catch you on the next one. Have a good day.